for win.
Yeah, actually, so let's go from the beginning. Okay, he went for a6, and I went a3, which is kind of a half nonsense move, half serious because I am kind of mirroring him. But it had some ideas actually. So he went, I think things were pretty reasonable until here. And here I decided to go for over-ambitious plan with bishop e5. I think it's fine if I just go knight f3, I don't know, knight c6 and I develop. It's
Like
just, yeah,
something like this, yeah.
I can even take and bishop d3 or just bishop e2. It's different strategies, like for instance here he would go c4, oops, but then my a3 is useful, or I can take on c5. So instead I went bishop e5, which is very forcing, bishop e6. And here, yeah, maybe it was better to go g3 or knight e2, knight c6, and here g3 was probably better. And after g3, I wasn't sure, like, he can try to gain my bishop on e5 with something like knight e4, and, you know, f6 later on, and I can decide to sacrifice it, for instance, bishop g2, f6, bishop f4. Okay, it's a bit long. Yeah, let's say here, okay, or maybe first to take, sorry. Takes, and then I take, and now f6. Bishop f4, let's say, and g5, and just to sack the bishop, yeah, like castles, gf knight f4, and this is definite compensation. But you know, of course, in such a game, I was not trusting myself probably enough to do this. So yeah, g3 was definitely an option. After g3, he can play solid bishop d6, but then I think I'm just a bit better. So I went knight f4, which is not so precise. He did, I think, well. He took twice, queen takes different, bishop d6, and here the drama started to hit in slowly, because here I think bishop e2 I'm just a little bit better, probably nothing extraordinary, but fine position. So I went g3, rook c8 is strong, and here of course my last, you know, I mean normal move was knight takes e6, which I did in the game later on, f takes, bishop h3, but queen e7 he's fine, yeah?
Queen e7, yeah?
Yeah, of course. For instance, he's completely fine, it's normal position. But I went rook d1, and you know, suddenly things got pretty much out of hand here. He could also have taken on f4, but queen a5 also extremely unpleasant. And here I decided, of course, out of desperation, to just admit that you know, my mental level wasn't too high at this point, and just to play rook c1, which I played last move rook d1. So you can, it doesn't take, you know, a genius to understand that this is not so good for white here. Yeah, so castles, knight takes e6, pawn takes, bishop h3. I just need to be on time to develop, otherwise things can get really nasty. So king f7, castles. Okay, rook c4 is very forcing, and bishop e5 also pretty forcing, knight e2. And here this was, I think, first okay, critical-ish moment in the game. Like I took rook takes c4, I was thinking to play rook b1. Also was an option, and just to try to hold on to the rooks and play for f4, knight d4. And the position is actually very concrete, because f4 is such a big threat with following up with knight d4. So maybe this was a better option, I don't know. Like I felt like this was maybe more principled. But after for some consideration, I decided to trade on c4 instead. And here the problem was that I originally intended f4. Bishop takes b2 is only move. Rook to b1. And here he can just, trade everything, for instance. I don't know. Maybe
somewhere.
And the a pawn is pretty strong, yeah. So it's like I'm collecting g7 and d6, but bishop c5, a5, and I don't really see how I'm stopping this this pawn. So this was my original idea, but I couldn't really make it work. So I played before. Queen a4 is strong because he wants some communication with the rook and queen c2 or rook c2. And knight f4 I think is almost like only move. Trade is forced. Takes queen c6. So this was the first strange moment in the game. Like I went here. Like I was expecting a draw, let's say, with rook e4, queen d2, rook c4, and I don't really see what can I do, because he has an amazing structure, right? He just needs to dominate my pieces. My only play is against the king, that I get active somehow, and so I was expecting something like this, and he's threatening with g6 and my bishop to block, then knight e4. So I feel like queen e3 is logical. And yeah, queen e3 is a kind of an annoying move, because like I'm threatening with queen e5, so like he has to deal with it somehow. But he went knight e4, which is like way more ambitious. But you know, like f3, and here only move is to repeat, right? So it's not like more ambitious; it's just a very strange sequence actually. So rook c3. Okay, first here it's important to add that queen e1 seems to be winning, because if the knight moves, I take on e6, for instance. I don't know, just and he cannot take it back. But he has queen b6 check, king moves, and rook e3. And actually, tables are turning. And knight c3, and I'm totally dominated. Queen d4 was played, and rook c4. So we are repeating moves here.
Yeah,
and
we
then,
were thinking like you are going to sign a draw.
Yeah,
very soon.
that would have been a reasonable decision because I went down to 2 minutes. And nor do I believe that white should be winning here, or I mean, objectively. But queen e5, I played this very forcing, and knight d2 is only move, f5. And here already first interesting moment, queen b6 check or knight takes f1. Queen b6 check is very tricky. I have to go king h1, captures, pawn takes check. And here, ironically speaking, king e8 loses, like in the game it wasn't, because of this check, and I'm picking up the rook. Like king d8 is queen takes d5.
Yeah, just to show to our viewers,
Yes,
like you're collecting this rook, yeah?
So, but king g8 is the move. And we were discussing this after the game. Of course, I can perpetual. I don't think I'm in danger if I take also like because I have rook c1. Let's say it's not working because king e7 maybe and takes king g2, king h3. So I don't think I'm in danger after bishop takes f1. But also I don't see the win for white. This was one option, and also like e7. Yep. So e7 was a very interesting line, but knight takes g3 check. This and here actually I initially thought white is winning, but I blundered this check. It's very unpleasant, yes.
Okay.
So this is not so easy to see when you are play, like 10 moves.
Yeah, like 10
from the
minutes.
best. Yeah.
You had only
so
10
knight
minutes.
takes f1 also and check, and here king e7 was something that I wasn't sure about, but I take, and it's a really crazy line. King d6, check, king c7 I think is only move, and e7. And now I'm threatening. I mean, it's lucky for me because I'm not threatening to queen. Actually, I'm threatening with queen d8 checkmate, right? But check realize only like during the later on, like maybe in this position, the same idea what he tried to sacrifice the rook is going to work because my queen is not on the diagonal. So I think.
Okay, yeah.
Like, but okay, this is. I mean, of course. You can be very smart about this after the game, but during the game,
to calculate.
Yeah, during the game you just calculate king e2 here.
and
I'm covering all the checks, and okay, I have 2 pawns and the bishop, so